Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining me. So I know it has been a hot minute since I've uploaded on here again, but I hope you guys are having a good 2021 so far. Okay, so we're gonna get into it. Today I'm gonna create a Valentine's Day sparkly pink look and I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so first and foremost, let's start by prepping the skin. I'm using the Milk Moisturizer. I'm going to wait for that to set and dry. And then afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and apply the primer just to make sure that my makeup lasts and sets well once I apply it. Okay, so you saw me smelling the Smashbox Vitamin Glow Primer, mainly because it's my first time trying it and I don't really like products with strong scents. So I just wanted to be sure that it didn't irritate my skin because of the scent. Alright, so next I'm going to go ahead and prep my eyes. I use the Natasha Denona Eye Primer. That is hands down my favorite primer. You need to go get it. It's a nice investment. Okay, so for the eyeshadow that I'm going to be using, it's the NYX Utopia Ultimate Shadow Palette. This is also a new product for me and I ended up loving it. The pigments are just great and the shades are so pretty, and unfortunately they don't come with names, so I'm just going to go ahead and point to the shades that I'll be using. So first I'm going to go in with a lighter shade right in the inner corner with a fluffy brush. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that all over the crease until I get it as intense or as dark as I want to. Next, I'll go in with a slightly darker nude shade and go on top of the lighter shade with the same fluffy brush. Make sure that you go ahead and just dust off any of the excess shadow that you have. So again, you're just going to go over the lighter shade with the darker shade now. Move your brush in circular small motions. Next, I'll be going in with a slightly smaller brush and it's a little more flat too. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of the rosy pink shade and do the same thing. You're just going to go over the crease on top of the first two shades and do that in a circular motion too. I'm also going to get some of that pink of the shade and tap it into the outer corner until I get it how dark I want it. Now, because the pink is very light, I went ahead and dipped my brush in it several times just to make sure that I get the shade that I want. I would rather build up and just dab my brush into the eyeshadow so I can get it as intense as I want it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create my cut crease using the Q-tips, and I'm going to use that along with Vaseline. So the little Q-tips are from Morphe. They're called Tidy Tips. I got them from the Morphe website. I believe they're also at Ulta, I'm not really sure. And they came in an 80 pack for $3, so not bad. So as you saw in the video, I'm just going to go ahead and dip the flat side of the Q-tip and just dab a little bit of the Vaseline. You don't need a big amount. And you're just going to go ahead and use the flat side of the brush or Q-tip to cut your crease. Then I'm going to go ahead and flip the little Q-tip and use the pointy side to make it more precise. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with the P. Louise eyeshadow base and a flat brush to cover up the cut crease. So when I use another shade, the color will pop out more because I use this shadow base. So I just go ahead and put a little dab on my hand. It's easier to maneuver, and I just go ahead and dab a flat brush. You don't need a lot, just very, very little. And if you need extra, then you can just go ahead and dip some more in. So you're just going to make small dab movements. You don't want to do a lot of product because a little bit goes a long way with this one. You're just going to be slightly tapping it onto your eyelid where you created the crease. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and pick up another Q-tip and do it with the pointy side and just make like a curved dash in the middle of the crease and the shadow. I'm going to be applying some eyeliner, but that's going to be a little bit later on. So since I'm going to be using glitter for this look, I'm going to go ahead and use some glitter primer. The one I'm using is the NYX glitter one. This is one of my favorites. It's really sticky, it's affordable, and it does the job. So I'm just going to be applying it with the opposite side of the brush that I used to create the cut crease. And I'm just going to be applying the primer anywhere where I want the glitter. And that's basically where I created my cut crease. Now for the glitter primer, you don't need a lot, but also make sure that you have enough where the glitter is going to stick. Okay, so the glitter that I'm going to be using, it's by ColourPop. It's called Avenue of the Stars. It's like a pink, shimmery, goldish, and it has a variety of colors, but I ended up really liking it when I swatched it, and that's how I decided I wanted to use it for this look. So to apply the glitter, I'm going to be using a silicone brush. This will help with picking up the glitter and applying it a lot easier than with a regular brush. The one that I'm using right now is the Morphe one, and then I have another one that I got at a beauty supply store. They both work very well. I usually go ahead and apply the glitter with small strokes, or I go ahead and dab it on. And of course, like with the eyeshadow, I want to build it up. Okay, so I forgot to show you guys in the video, but the eyeliner that I'm using is the ABH Norvina Electric Cake Liner. So all you have to do is dab a little bit of water into the little palette that it comes in, and then it'll activate the formula. Now the brush that I'm using is super thin. I'm not really sure if it's an eyeliner brush. I don't even remember where I got it from, but this is the closest that I could find to one. So as you guys saw in the video, I went ahead and started in the inner corner and just pressing very lightly. If I need to go over it again, I will. But again, you want to use a very small amount and then build it up. Now, I'm not going to lie, it is a little tough not making a mess. So work very slightly. So as you can see, my other eye is done and it looks a little thicker. So I think I used a little bit too much water to activate the liner whenever I did my left eye. That's how come it looks significantly thicker. Okay, so now that we get the eyes out of the way, which was the main part, I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup. I go ahead and work on my eyes first. There's no particular order, of course. A lot of people go ahead and do your face first and then their eyes. I like to start on my eyeshadow first personally, and then just randomly do the rest of it. Alright, so for my eyebrows, I'm going to go ahead and use the e.l.f. brow pencil. This is actually the pencil I've been using most, mainly because it's so easy to work with. I haven't had my eyebrows done in a long time. I actually went to go get them done today because it was really the least of my worries, but I got them done today and I'm excited to use different products now. Okay, so now I'm going to be applying my lashes. I'm going to be using the Duo Lash Glue, the fast drying one. I don't really like to sit around and wait for the lash glue to dry, so I get the fast drying one. That's like 10 seconds or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to be using Miss Lashes. I got these lashes at a beauty supply store. I haven't seen that they have a website, and honestly, I haven't even seen if they have like a social media account, but these lashes are some of my favorites. They have a lot of variety. They're super affordable, and the only thing is that I'm not really sure where else I would get them other than the beauty supply store that I have here. Alright, so for the foundation, I'll be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. I did a review on this foundation last year if you want to check out that video after this video. So I go ahead and shake it first just to move the product around. It works really well with a brush or a blending sponge, but I prefer some of my foundations to apply it with the brush, and this is one of them. So this is a medium to full coverage, and it's buildable, which is what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be applying it first, the first layer, and then if I want to, which I personally do, go ahead and apply a second or third layer. Just be careful on how you build it up and how you do your brush strokes. Next, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my concealer. I am using the Tarte Hydro Concealer. I believe that's what it's called. I'm not really sure, but I'll put the name of everything that I'm using in the details of the link. I tend to skip applying foundation in my under eyes just because I want the concealer to mainly focus in that area, and I don't want to apply the concealer on top of my foundation. I want it to have, I want the area to be bare. So I just focus on the area that I'm going to be putting the concealer, and just what I'm going to do is go in with a tiny sponge and just blend it outward toward the outer corner of my eye. It'll give your eyes a little bit of a lifted look. All right, so let's go in with some bronzer next. I'm going to be using the Morphe Debutante bronzer. I believe that's what it's called. Again, I'll post the name of everything that I'm using on the details. So I'm going to go in and use an angled brush. I'm going to dab a little bit of the darker shade along with the lighter shade. And then I'll go ahead and apply it where I want my bronzer. Now, I use an angled brush. You can also use a more of a rounder brush if you want to. I like the angled one simply because I personally feel it's easier to sculpt the areas that I want bronze. Again, if you use the rounder brush, that's also okay. It just depends on what strokes you use it in. Really, that makes a big difference. So I typically put the bronzer around my forehead, at like a 90-degree angle of my chin area, my jawline, and then along my cheeks, my cheekbones. I forgot, so sometimes I do apply it on the lower lip. I feel like it makes your lower lip stand out a little bit sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set the makeup with a matte setting spray. This is the only one I've ever used. This is the only matte setting spray that I have, mainly because I like more of the dewy look. That's just my preference. But for this look, I kind of wanted to tone it down, so I went ahead and used the matte setting spray. Okay, so last but not least, let's go ahead and do the lipstick. I'm going to be using the Nikita Dragon lipstick in the shade Nikita. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I did a little story review on there about how beautiful and great this formula is. I thought she was just hyping it up because it's her brand, but it hands down is the best matte formula I have tried on a liquid lipstick. Okay, so really quick before I wrap it up here, go ahead and push that follow button if you haven't yet, or the subscribe button rather. Go ahead and follow me on Once in a Review Moon on Instagram. So here is the final look. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Bye!